Maddie, Matt's coach and Matt's group coach. And I want to just thank you for a minute here for joining us for today's webinar regarding the importance of providing nothing less than a jaw-dropping customer experience. And frankly, how we are going to grow your repeat and referral business, because amen, hallelujah, that is the best kind of business around. So we've got a couple people sort of rolling in here as we get started. So I'm going to have this phone call. We won't be more than 30 minutes. I recognize that your time is valuable, and I do appreciate you taking the time to visit with us a little bit today. So we'll be off this phone call within 30 minutes. And if you have to cut out before then, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what is a jaw-dropping customer experience, what's important to about it, and then a little bit about what you get in this class if you choose to invest in it, if you see the value there. And so let's make no mistakes about this. My intention here is to share with you what's possible in your business if you implement these systems to grow your business and double that referral stuff. So this is absolutely, as much as educational, this is also a sales job. I want you guys to register for this class because I want to see you double your referral business, especially as we start moving into the next market segment, which we're going to be talking about shortly. So let's get started right away here. For those of you that were not in Family Reunion, I want to share with you something that Gary gave us or showed us during his vision speech, and that is kind of a sneak peek of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, MREA 2, which I think is supposed to come out third or fourth quarter of this year. And what he told us was that basically the business, the fundamental business of the model of our business has not changed. It's all about leads, getting leads so you can sell houses, listings, getting listings to control the future of your business and to have an impact on the market, and then third, leverage, first through systems and technology and later on through talent. That hasn't changed. Despite all the technological advances and all the different ways that people are structuring their businesses, the core of our business and the compensation that we receive for the things that we do is still built on this triangle of leads, listings, and leverage. What has changed is everything else. So it's interesting, he shared with us that something crazy like almost $6 billion had been invested over the last 10 years, or especially in the last 5 years, by various companies that are looking to insert themselves into this business model. Things that we may have heard of, obviously Zillow, inserting themselves between the consumer and the realtor in terms of real estate information or seeing homes. All the myriad lead generation systems that are out there like Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia. You've got brokerages like Redfin, where they actually pay you part of their commission to use them in the purchase of your home. Obviously, there's a myriad different for sale by owner tools. We have now virtual showing agents going on. All of this technology is happening for a reason, and that is that there are billions and billions and billions of commission dollars that we exchange and that we earn every single year. And industry outsiders are looking at our business model, leads, listings, and leverage, and saying, we don't see the value that's being commanded in those commissions that are being charged. And that's why we're seeing all this technology try to kind of disrupt our business model. And I don't want to cast this as fear and doom and gloom, but we do need to be aware of what's happening. The industry doesn't buy into our business model. And so Gary told us we need to build a wall around our business model. And there's 3 things we do to build that wall. The first is value proposition. Generally speaking, as an industry, we stink at educating people on the value that we provide them. And in the investment community doesn't believe so as well, which is why we're seeing all these business models try to get in while the market is good. The second piece he says is we have to provide incredible service. At the end of the day, we are service providers, and we've got to do a great job when people entrust us to help them with their real estate goals. And finally, database. That is to say, the best kind of business and the most sustainable through any technological change or any swing in the industry in terms of a good or a bad market is database, repeat and referral business. And so Gary's statement to us during Family Reunion is build a wall around your business model by being able to defend your value and communicate it well, provide great service, and then stay in touch with your database. This program is about providing a jaw-dropping customer experience, amazing service that's going to lead to a database that wants to repeat and refer with you. That's it. That's what we're going to talk about for 10 weeks' time. So what's cost of a bad sale? Let's talk about that. Well, you might be cutting your commission. You may even lose your commission if the deal falls apart. That's not so good. You may find that your client winds up writing some nasty reviews about you online, which absolutely is going to impact consumers' perception of you when they're evaluating if they want to work with you. And then this is where things can get bad. We may find that people start sharing negative experiences, the sort of the cocktail party effect, where people will say things like, oh, I worked with Peter. I wouldn't do that. He's terrible. I definitely wouldn't work with Peter. That's a killer. And then finally, the lost referral opportunities, which are kind of an extension of those previous two bullets. If you are at a place where people are thinking about working with you, they read a bad online review, they hear about you at a cocktail party and how you dropped the ball on something, you've lost a referral opportunity, and that is the best business. What's the best business? Referral business. It's the highest margin, lowest competition source of business to acquire, and I just want to ask you, what would your business look like if everybody you worked with referred you one client a year? Man, that would look and feel delicious. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's average in the National Association of Realtors. According to the National Association of Realtors, 21% of an agent's business comes from repeat and referral business. Well, I know you're not average because you would not have registered or at least shown interest in a group coaching program if you want to be average. So let me tell you what the goal of this course is. I want you guys to create a superior, repeatable, and here's what I'm really talking about, referable customer experience to your clients. So if you're around that 20% referral rate, I want you to get to the place where you double that within 12 months' time. Let's get you to 40% of your business from repeat and referral, because that ultimately is going to improve your business's profitability, because it's the most cost-effective kind of business to capture, and sustainability, because that wall around our value prop, or that wall around our business model is impregnable. Repeat and referral business, guys, is going to block and stop technology and market cycles every single time. And beyond all that, it's just good when you're working with clients that like you and enjoy working with you. So why do we forget about this? Let's think about some family reunion statistics. And Gary puts these up in front of us every year, and for some reason, instead we go outside into the vendor hall and chase the squirrel or the new shiny object. Number one source for buyers finding their agent is they are referred to somebody. Number two source, repeat, they work with you again. These two alone equal over half of all the buyer opportunities. Over half of the buyers either work with the same agent or are referred to one. Interestingly, websites, whatever it is, Boomtown or Trulia or Zillow, whatever it is, Tiger Leads, only account for 7%. We got all this technology and all these dollars going after something that only represents 7% of the buyer opportunity. Let's look at the other side of things. Sellers, 38% use an agent they're referred to. 22% work with somebody they worked with in the past. That's 60% of all the opportunities are sitting there right in your database right now, waiting for you to provide an amazing experience and stay in touch with them. So let's talk about what customer experience is about, because this is not just about sunshine, ponies, and unicorns. This is about creating a very subtle but intentional lead generation platform that leads to a sustainable business model. So I want you to think about this. Take the number of people in your database, what we call METs in Keller Williams parlance, and divide that by 10, because the average homeowner now thinks that they're going to be in their home for 10 years before they move. Well, let's take that and multiply it by your average commission, and that's what your MET database is worth in GCI for a mature business every single year. So for example, let's say you have 180 people in your database. Well, 1/10 of that, or because a person moves every 10 years, so 1/10 of that would be 18 transactions. Multiply that by your average commission price. Now, don't laugh at me, people in California and Florida. Our average sales price in Cincinnati, which we're very proud of, is $250,000. So it's a $7,500 commission. So $135,000, which is the average commission times that 18 figure, that's how much opportunity is sitting in your database if it's 180 people with these other assumptions. Think about that for a second, just by doing a great job working for them and staying in touch. Now, let's talk about referral business. And I know this is big thinking, but what if 1 out of every 5 people in your database referred you a closed sale every year? Look at this, 180 people. 1 out of 5 people would be 36 sales times your average commission price, or commission, for us would be $270,000. That plus the 180 in repeat business equals $405,000 worth of gross commission income sitting in a database of 180 people that you provide an amazing experience to and have kept a well-oiled machine by staying in relationship with them. What would your business look like if you hit these numbers? That's what I want for you through this course. So, what are we going to do in this program over the course of 10 weeks? We're going to spend 2 weeks going over the basics. So we're going to be talking about what's the mindset of a great customer experience. How do you get into the right mindset? How do we define customer experience? Because if you don't know what it looks like, you're not going to be able to achieve it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how do we communicate better with our clients, not only behaviorally, but also what are some standards and some skills that we can quickly integrate into how business to communicate well. Then we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of doing great customer service, and that is really working with your clients right before you meet with them, after you meet with them, while you're working with them actively as buyers or sellers, coordinating that closing, the critical role that operations play in delivering a great customer experience, and then making sure you efficiently collect feedback that's going to close the loop and make sure you're delivering on your intention of a great customer experience, or I should say jaw-dropping customer experience. And then we're going to do fun stuff during the last 4 weeks of the class. We're going to talk about the concept of fan club, the concept of a 33 touch. We're going to talk about our specific 33 touch that we do at our team, and we'll talk about executing on it. We're going to have 2 interviews with some really high-functioning customer experience professionals within the industry, one of which will be from Gary Keller's own Top 100 Mastermind, I happen to be a member of. We'll get another one on who's a customer experience pro. We'll talk about who on your office is going to be your client experience officer, CEO, and we'll do some crowdsourcing. So that's what we're going to do during this program. I want to talk a little bit about what makes a great customer experience. We think of it as 3 layers of a cake. That core layer is communication. We are salespeople, and if you can't communicate well, you're going to stink as a salesperson. So we're going to spend the first week or 2 talking about communication, and we're always going to be visiting what are the communication points that we need to be hitting on during every phase of the customer experience. So that first layer of the cake is communication. So we're going to talk about behavior awareness. You guys are going to be getting a ton of scripts and dialogues from us. We're going to talk about expectation setting, future pacing, conflict resolution. We'll talk about the rule of 3 in communication. And then we'll get into the systems, right? You need to be able to provide a consistent, systematic, predictable layer of high-quality service with each and every client. So we'll talk about what are the Team Chabris systems that we've implemented. And you guys, by the way, you get a copy of all of them, all of our checklists. And we'll talk about how we do it so that you can quickly graft our stuff onto yours, or use our stuff and just change the things that are specific to how you run your business. And then we'll talk about the +1. And the +1 is kind of that icing on the cake. Communication systems, those are the 2 layers. The icing is the +1. Finding that opportunity to really delight your consumer and speak their language, do something that really makes the experience special and memorable. Because that's what we want. When this thing is closed and it's done, we want them thinking, wow, that was amazing. We want them to feel compelled to chase down their friends when they talk about real estate and say, you got to call Peter Chabris. You got to call whomever is on this call. You got to call these people. They're amazing. And we do that by really creating something magical and special and memorable about the transaction. So we're also going to go over the most important script in this class. And when I say that, it's kind of a teaser. We're going to teach you guys how to set your clients up for a relationship where they're referring to you early and often. But also, there's going to be scripts that we provide to you the entire time we're in the class. You'll get our scripts, our dialogues, our email templates, our snail mail templates. You get dialogues on how we present information during the time that we're working with them. So you'll be in the mindset of fostering a referral relationship while you're working with them. Or if you guys are into the ninja stuff, I'll share with you Mike Hicks, the Promise. Now, if you guys don't know Mike Hicks, he is a rock star. Don't be fooled by that gentle photo right there. This guy lives in Idaho Falls, which has a population of about 10,000 people. Mike Hicks and his team last year sold over 450 homes, 85% repeat and referral. 85% repeat and referral on 400 plus sales in a town of 10,000 people. He does it with what he calls the promise. And not only am I going to give you the promise, I'm also going to give you guys the opportunity to watch him role play it with nobody other than Gary Keller in seeing how that promise is delivered and seeing how he seeds his clients with that referral-based relationship as soon as he meets with them and starts working. It's genius. We talk about systems and how important it is to being purposeful about anything that you undergo. So just know that we'll share with you all of the systems that we use. Here's an example, our post-listing system. Now, don't laugh at me. We actually still use a checklist. We don't use Top Producer or anything fancy or Salesforce or anything. I just like to be able to hold the checklist and see where things are with our clients. You'll notice there's 12 points of communication throughout that checklist. Every single call and every single email is documented and given to you so you can quickly copy this and apply it to your business. And you'll get checklists from every phase of our transaction management. I do want to talk about feedback. It's the breakfast of champions. And so if we don't know how we're doing, we don't know if we're doing what we set out to do, and we don't know how we can correct or fix things. So we're going to teach you guys how to systemize the feedback loop to make sure you're delivering on the customer experience that you're intentional about providing. So we'll share with you also the feedback forms that we use and how we collect information, why we ask the questions that we do, and how we quantify it, and even more importantly, how we hold ourselves and each other accountable to the scores that we get from our feedback forms. Okay, operations. Some people call this administration. I believe that in any sales organization, there's the production role, right? Finding and acquiring clients, capturing them as clients, and then servicing them and helping them, buy, sell, negotiate with them. There's the operations piece, everything else that happens. And that actually is the lion's share of a lot of the real estate work that we do. So I want to talk about how important it is to have a great operational crew as part of your customer experience. Now, if you are an army of one, it's all good. We're going to teach you how to make sure that your operations piece, your administrative piece, is just as strong as your sales piece. Those of you that have teams, you're going to see how we hand things off, and you're going to see all the checklists that we do, as well as all of the standards that our operations people follow in delivering a critical piece of the customer experience. We'll show you what some of the standards look like. We'll show you some of the words that we teach people on the operations side of our team. Again, so that you don't have to figure this stuff out. You can just quickly go back and start implementing this. Now, like I said before, it's great to provide a great customer experience just for the provisioning of it, because it feels good to provide somebody a great experience. But this is absolutely a lead generation system. It's subtle, it's sophisticated, but it is lead generation. We are about getting referrals. Gary says, staying directly from the MREA, staying in relationship with your database is the #1 way to get more business. So we work hard to acquire clients. During the brunt of this program, we're going to be talking about how to retain, do a great job working with them. And then we're going to spend a little bit of time about how to retain your clients, right? Because you may recall, it is an interesting statistic, 88% of people surveyed said they would work with their realtor again when they bought or sold next time, and yet I think only 12% do. And the reason, the person that we have to blame for that is ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to stay in touch with your database. It's the most cost-effective marketing that you can do. And that's done through what's called the 33 touch. So we'll explore that concept. I'll share with you exactly what our team does to stay in touch with our database on an annual basis. And then you can choose to copy that or not. So we're going to skip through this in the spirit of saving time and go quickly to the concept of fan club. So this is another sort of post-closing methodology for staying in relationship with your database. It can actually be used once you've implemented it as a pull, as a way of drawing new prospects into your organization, but it's initially launched and implemented to stay in better relationship with your clients. It's basically a way to provision resources for your clients so that you have reasons to create value for them after the closing. It obviously helps you stay top of mind, gives you another reason to call them when you're checking in on your database, and it can almost create a sense of exclusivity or even membership around the relationship that your clients have with you. It just makes it special after the closing. The guy that we all think of when we think about this is Russell Rhodes and his famous margarita machines, which is where it started, but it now has, he's got about, I think it's 1,500 square feet of office space that he uses to store all the stuff that he makes available to his clients. And it's not just about stuff, It's about systematically staying in relationship with your database through stuff and also through events. So we'll talk about that as well. You absolutely will speak with, you'll have an interview. I will interview some of the top 100. We'll talk, I'll interview them about their customer experience, how they go about systemizing it, how that has changed their business, the benefits that they're getting, the benefits that their clients are getting, how they're leveraging it for higher repeat and referral rates. And I'll also make sure that you guys have time to ask one of these rock stars your own personal questions about delivering a great customer experience. We'll talk about the CEO, which we call the Customer Experience Officer. We have somebody at our team who actually is responsible for the provisioning or the providing of nothing less than a jaw-dropping customer experience to our clients. And she holds all of us, including myself, accountable to quantified customer experience scores that we collect during our survey. So we'll talk about what that job description looks like, who might be the right person to wear that hat in your organization, and what their responsibilities are to make sure that you're delivering this great experience, this great service, which is one of those three components that's going to defend your business and make a long-lasting, profitable, and sustainable real estate sales career. So what do you get with this class? You're going to get the right mindset, because if you don't start with the right mindset, nothing else is going to matter. For those of you who have taken Bold, you know that inside and out. So we're going to start with mindset. We're going to talk specifically about our system. You get all our checklists, all our scripts, our dialogues, our emails, and our mail templates, all our feedback forms, all of our communication service standards, our 33 touch, all of our client events. We'll talk about accountability and how to implement it. We'll talk about the CEO. And less impressive to you now, and I think probably the thing that you'll appreciate the most once you've gone through the program, is how to provide a high level of fiduciary service to your clients when you're working with them. This is something that I've worked on for many, many years, and I really want to make sure you guys take from this, because it's not just about the communication and the systems, it's also about the skill. And I'm going to give you guys a really rigorous class where we really lay into best practices for being great fiduciary representatives for your clients. And I'll give you guys a bunch of cheat sheets that we use to make sure that we're communicating with our clients as effectively and efficiently as possible. And all the skills on the roadmap you need to double your referrals. So, assuming you want to double your referrals, this class doesn't start in 6 days, that's a typo. It actually starts Tuesday. So we need you guys to register immediately. The website is mapscoaching.kw.com/CX. That CX stands for customer experience. So please take a minute, go there now, register. It's $297. I think it's going to be a good return on investment if you guys can double your repeat and referral business. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. It's going to be a great 10-week class. We're going to change how you do your business. And I just, once again, thank you for taking time to visit with me today for half an hour. And I'm really looking forward to getting started on Tuesday. You guys take care. I'll talk to you soon.